we are talking about why investors are the best clients for you to work with, why you can improve your business, how you can improve your business, and who is the investor, what they look like, where they're hanging out, and how you can attract them to you instead of chasing and spending all your time in marketing and sales. Instead, you can actually do what an agent is supposed to do, which is find property, show property, evaluate property, and negotiate deals. People who get shit done get paid. People who work hard end up tired. So areas to prospect: real estate groups, real estate investment Facebook groups on Facebook, Facebook meetup groups, anything that's a training event with a whole bunch of real estate people in the room. So you can go right on Meetup. There's still a lot of virtual ones. These are places you can prospect. You can find people who are like-minded, want to do what you're doing. And I would say RIAs, if they were back open and running, a lot of them are still virtual. These are places you can prospect. Bigger Pockets is a place to prospect. It's a place to go out, and you know the quality of the lead is just, they're all about the same. Just get to the next one. Just get to the next one. Everybody on there wants to buy a house. Everybody on there wants to invest. Everybody on there is afraid of stocks. They're afraid of crypto. They're afraid of all other forms of investments. They just want real estate. If you go out and you try to market and advertise to find people who want to buy houses, everybody will tell you, yeah, one day it'd be nice to have. But investors are like, how do I do it now? It's a whole different conversation. The first step to working with a buyer is location, location, location. We're talking state, city, type of property, zip code. Dial it down right to the exact space that they want to live in, and then tell them, go drive those streets. Just go drive those streets and make sure that you feel comfortable with the neighborhood, that you like what we're getting into. Anytime you see a property online, go drive by it. And that is a step one to training a buyer to get them engaged in the excitement of searching, the excitement of understanding their neighborhood. And also by putting them through little hoops. Here's a lot of the mistakes agents make come because they don't want to put their buyers out. They think that they're going to be this full a la carte service and not put the buyers out emotionally or physically. The more you have your buyers do, the more engaged they are with the purchasing process. The more they're driving by, the more they're calling and getting pre-approved, the more that they're searching and looking at property, the more you're talking to them, the more intense it is the first 2 weeks until something goes under agreement, the more likely they are to stay on the hook. If you pull back on any one of these steps, you decrease conversion rate of that buyer. So from the first point of contact to 2 weeks from that point of them saying, hey, I want to buy something, there should be something under agreement. And this is one more hoop, one more loop to get them to jump through to make sure that they're staying engaged. So if I first say, we talk about yeses in NLP. We talk about using yeses to get people to move forward to comply. And a lot of times we'll say something like, does this make sense to you? Of course, a yes. Do you want the house to be turnkey, or would you like a lot of work? They're going to say yes, turnkey, or yes, a lot of work. And then as you're moving, you say, so you said you don't mind doing a lot of work. They'll say, yes, that's right. You're getting the yeses in consecutive agreement, a consecutive order, so that they can move forward towards a loop of a yes that is just subconscious. It's just loop after loop after loop. And when you take, this goes for listings too, as well. When you're in a listing, if their beds are half made or partially made, and you're walking through, the lights have to be turned on, the rooms have to be cleaned, the windows have to be open, the shades have to be open. It's very powerful to bring the seller with you and ask them to do those steps. Instead of you doing it, you say, hey, can you open the shades over there? Do you mind? And then you go and turn on the light, and can you help me out with this bed? Those little hoops that you're bringing them through, it helps them sign at the end. Does that make sense? They're getting a hoop and then a hoop and a hoop, and they're getting rewarded. Oh, thank you. Great job. If you do not give out the reward, you may not get the result you're looking for later. Awesome. Great job. It helps a lot. And then you explain why you're doing what you're doing. It helps with lighting. It helps with make the image look better. It's really important. You're such an easy person to work with. I love working with you. Absolutely. Let's go to the next room, and we're just going to tackle this one by one, make these pictures perfect. You can see already the energy that builds, those statements, those comments, that activity. It's creating loops. They want to be helpful. They want to work with you. They're getting that feeling of working with you. And so the more and faster you can bring them through that process, the more engagement you can provide, the more likely they are to take you seriously and close and sign with you in that moment, that day. It's the same thing with buyers. The more hoops you can give them, the more excited they are about the process. It helps. Send them a training video, send them a requirement to go drive by properties. set them up with a parameter. First thing we do in the mentorship, where's everybody who's been in the mentorship? Graduates, excellent. So first thing I have you do in the mentorship is this email or first conversation saying, hey, by the way, there's a lot of steps here. We're going to read books. We're going to watch videos. We're going to do a net worth tracker sheet. We're going to do accountability. We're going to do this call every single week. And we're going to do the Saturday call every week. It's boom, 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 boom. Responsibility. It hooks you, gets the mind hooked. And it gets you committed to your success, gets you committed to doing what you're supposed to be doing. Who found that to be an extremely useful tool in the mentorship? There's a guide, there's a path, there was consistency, there's programs. That's what buyers are looking for. They're looking for when they come in to work with you, it's, hey, make sure you go to this class on Saturday, make sure you go to the class on Monday, make sure you go to the class on Wednesday. And you got to be looking for property every single day. I'm going to send you emails, make sure you're clicking through those. And we got to be looking at 3 properties every 3 days until you close something. Let them know it's abnormal. It's not natural to not close something in 2 weeks. They're going to have a story or a mindset that says it's weird not to close. It's weird to close so fast, isn't it? Don't you take a long time to buy a house? And you say, no, that's like, haven't you watched HGTV? It's 30 minutes, right? They shop, close. And 3 houses, typically they're done, right? You've seen HGTV, that's how it works. It's the same thing in real life. Realtors know what I'm talking about. The tire kickers look at a lot of houses. The serious buyers, 3 tops, and they're closing deals. So you can let your clients know that up front. Most agents forget to set the context, and so they think it's okay to go look at 5, 6 houses, when if you'd set the context properly, you'd never even be at some of those houses. You'd only be working with serious buyers, running at the serious properties and putting in serious offers. You're a real estate mentor. That's what you're doing in these first 5 minutes, first 10, 20 minutes. You're teaching people the process to buying their first home. That's really all this is. I used to laugh and say, I'm a consultant. I'm not really a real estate agent. I'm just a consultant. I just educate, teach, prime, and then occasionally I'll go and show a house and sell a house. But I wouldn't really go out to a property unless I do they're putting an offer in. Does that make sense? When I was effectively an agent out there every day, it was, okay, is that the one? Is that the one? Is that the one? Is that the one? And then when they were ready, all right, I'll go take a look at it with you. Because ingraining the loyalty up front was all I had to do. And it's the same today. Once a client comes to me, I pass them to Dorina or one of you, and there's a loyalty to it because they know that you understand all the stuff that I understand. You understand how to buy a deal. You understand how to invest. You understand it's the most important step. So next week, I'm thinking about talking about the book Set for Life and how you can teach the Set for Life process. Read the book yourself, go through it, start creating those Facebook videos about, little segments of the chapters and say, hey, look, if you really want to buy real estate, you've got to get some money saved up, at least $10,000. But if you get 25,000, it'd be huge, it'd be transformational. And that first 25 and teaching people how to save money, right? Have you not noticed the biggest problem with people is they don't have the money, the down payment? Hands to the camera if you know. Down payment's typically the reason they don't buy. And the other reason is their credit. But if they had the down payment, they could fix their credit. So it's like, right, if we just could teach people how to save money, then you'd have more qualified buyers. And so the Set for Life process not only teaches them how to save money in the first couple chapters, it also teaches them, once you got money, invest in real estate. So it's like this book does all the work for you. And by being a promoter or a pusher of this book, you then become the person who they follow and they say, yes, I'm going to invest with you when I'm ready. And you just focus on teaching people how to save and invest, save and invest, save and invest. I've built my entire career on teaching people how to save and invest. And it's helped a lot of you. And it's helped me build something pretty amazing. And by doing that, you can actually not only build a better career and build a better income, you can actually make the world a better place. Right? By teaching people how to save and invest. They can fight less. You don't fight with your spouse if you got money in the bank. I'm telling you, it's a lot easier. It's like, you know what? Let's just go spend some money. Solves all the problems. And you don't fight with your kids if you got money in the bank. Because it's like, you know what? They pissed me off. I'm not buying that thing that I know I could buy. Or they've done really well. I'm going to buy that thing that I know that they want. Not saying that gifts are the secret to happiness or success, but they sure make life more fun. and they give you more options. Neurolinguistic programming is all about storytelling. The reason you engage, the reason you learn quickly when I do these trainings is because your mind is full of stories. Your mind has images and pictures. So you can actually take it in faster and it's more entertaining. The reason most of you are here every week is because I speak with stories, which allows you to memorize faster. It allows you to stay engaged, allows you to enjoy. And so you want to keep coming back because you're actually getting, for once in your life, useful information that's in an entertaining form because you can actually retain it. So you have both sides, the entertainment factor that you enjoy, and you have the retention factor where it's like, oh my God, like I went there and my mind was just blown and it all stayed. Unlike if you've ever read a book that wasn't really written very well, you're like, fuck, I just read 15 chapters. I don't know what I read. Who's had that experience? Me too. So learning to tell stories. So think back to stories you have with your properties. And here's a secret to telling stories well and educating at the same time. Your story has to invoke emotion. So think of an emotion that you had with a house. And anytime you want to invoke that emotion with your client, with your student, with your investor, with your buyer, you tell that story. When you want to get somebody over the fear of calling a financial person, having them run their credit, right? You want to get them pre-approved. You tell the story of, yeah, when I first started, this was a fear that I had, and I did this. And then at the end, I found out it was no big deal. And once they've pulled your credit that one time, it lasts 3 to 6 months. Doesn't fucking matter. As long as you buy a house within that range, then you're fine. And trust me, you get pre-approved, we're ready to rock and roll. Whatever you get, we're going to go and we're going to do this, right? That story will allow them to stay. So find stories for the emotions that come up. You can handle the objections in advance by finding the emotions and then linking stories to your own investment career or friends. If you don't own or invested in real estate before, use one of my stories. I wrote a book. The stories are in there set in stone. You could say, hey, my friend, he's also a mentor. He wrote this book. He's my mentor. He's my coach. He's an investor that I know. This is something that he went through and this is how he handled it. If you're afraid to use your own stories, or you feel like they're too flimsy, or this is what I did in the beginning. I used to talk about Donald Trump's deals, right? Whatever. I used to talk about my mentor's deals because I hadn't done any, right? The Trump bill, the Trump bill is passing. It's coming. So $1,000 bills. Real estate investing is a path to wealth. Humbly mention that a guy is 34 years old, a multimillionaire, and he's going to go live in Tampa for the next 6 months or 5 months. Then he'll come back, and all he does is talk about the things he loves all day. Whatever makes you feel comfortable bragging about people's experience, your experience, do it so that you can inspire the people to come in and do this. Because most people think that their life is the only way to live, and it does suck. It's pretty miserable working the 9 to 5 they're working every day, not having the money that they want to have, living on 20, 30, 40,000, or having to go work 80 hours a week to make their $60,000. It's not necessary. It's just what they know. And if you can show them there's something else out there, if you can show them there's another path, then I think that book's set for life. If you haven't ordered it yet, order it tonight. We'll make that the homework. Order that book, Set for Life. Get a physical copy and get the audio version. And every time you look at the physical copy, I want you to anchor it. Just look at it and say, I'm going to save somebody. I'm going to help somebody. I'm going to teach somebody this process. And let that book be an anchor in your house. Save somebody. It's life, literally life in big letters. We have that in the middle of our house now. Every time I walk by, I'm like, damn, I got to go save somebody. I got to go. I got to go do this. Give yourselves a round of applause for saying, I want the shortcuts to real estate. I want to go right to the point. I'm not trying to be calling all these people, cold calling, figuring out if they want to buy houses, calling all my friends, texting them, hey, by the way, I got my real estate license. You want to work with me? Who do you know? Who do you know? Who do you know? Fuck that. Just go out, find people who want to buy, who are screaming at the top of their lungs. They're on Bigger Pockets. They're in Facebook Marketplace. They're in the meetup groups. They're saying, I want to buy real estate. Somebody help me. Just go look for those people, right? Don't go after the gold that's buried 2,000 feet under the earth and is not trying to be found. Go after the gold that's sitting right on the top of the earth. That's like, I'm right here. My buddies are downstairs. Like, come find me. That's where you want to be prospecting. Go look for the easy money. Go for the low-hanging fruit. That's why it's called the low-hanging fruit. It's sitting right there saying, come pick me. The one up there is like, aha, I figured out how to not get picked. I'm going to the top. Be the person who harvests the easy stuff. let somebody else go get a ladder. Ladies and gentlemen, when you have a choice, always work with the best. Cheers to your success, guys.